Put everything on hold and pay attention. Cautiously, as I'm going to reveal, you have the ability to totally alter how you handle ladies if you've ever been lost, not knowing the reasons behind some behaviors drive women away, or the reason why some of your behaviors that appear to diminish your worth without. Before you even realized it, this video was developed specifically for you, and this is a serious caution. If you disregard these facts, you will continue to make the same errors and spend a lot of money on it. However, if you want. When you watch until the end, you'll learn 10 things that folks with true intelligence never interact with women, and if you learn to stay away from them, you'll observe an instant change in how people perceive you, and honored and attentive to the final action. I'll disclose is the most damaging of all that it could be displacing attractive woman, which makes you lose respect, and it might get worse. Undermining your masculinity yourself without even recognizing it. So if you'd like to be a man of tremendous worth who commands respect and awe, remain with me till the very end. But first, let me know whether have you ever pondered why certain males appear to have a natural affinity toward women, although others find it difficult to even get noticed? Your appearance has never been the issue, or your mindset is more important than your money. Some actions that make you stand out forth as a self-assured, powerful man, and others that only makes you a woman simp. Accept but never really want. And the saddest part is that most males make these errors. Imagine not even being aware of it. You've met a remarkable woman. It appears that everything is going smoothly, yet you're committing a deadly mistake without realizing it. Error gradually she begins. She reacts with little curiosity, and her messages become less enthusiastic. And before you realize it, she views you as a friend rather than a handsome man. You don't comprehend what transpired with you, very kind and considerate. You put in the effort. But are you aware of your error? Did you do something that a wise guy would have done? Wouldn't work, and that's just what I'll show you, and then I'll reveal. The 10 actions that alienate women, erode their regard for you, and create you appear feeble, so people may assume that you're accomplishing all that you're supposed to, utilizing the appropriate methodology. However, if you continue to make these errors, in the crowd, you'll simply be another guy. Rejected, disregarded, and totally out of authority over your emotional life. And the most frightening aspect of these errors are quiet. You may be causing them to currently without being aware of it. And only following your viewing of this video will you at last realize exactly where you've been going wrong. So, if you're curious, what intelligent men don't do with women. If you wish to develop into a man with authority, women are naturally drawn to respect and never again feels uneasy in their presence. Then continue to the very end. Then a brief note that this video is not appropriate for males who are unwilling to adapt. There isn't. There's no use in watching if you're only going to continue performing the same tasks as before. With this film, men who aspire to become the greatest they can be, who are fed up with being disregarded or turned away, and who at last wish to comprehend what distinguishes genuine guys from weak men. Therefore, if you're prepared for this change to happen, click the subscribe button, then like and activate notifications, since we discuss genuine personal growth. Without any pretense or sugarcoating, let's move right to the first 5 points. Actions that intelligent men never take with. If you really want to be a woman, you need a man who is respected and desired. Should stop these actions right away. The first action that intelligent folks seldom take is elevating women for the sake of this is a deadly error when you treat a woman better than yourself, like an unreachable entity, as though she's being with you does you a favor. Automatically lose respect as a result of this, that you don't think highly of yourself, and she won't see it. Ladies, guess what? Respect men who act as though they are unworthy regardless of how lovely they are. No matter how smart or amazing she is never be a goddess to a lady, while putting yourself in the position of the norm for servants is to simply appreciate but never adore, show reverence, but don't beg for high-value men, don't look for attention. Validation through continuous complimenting women since they are aware of their value originates from, in the second mindset, you have to eliminate right away as being too accessible if you're constantly pursuing, always saying yes, when messaging initially to all that you're demonstrating that you don't live your own life. That enigma is understood by their own intelligent guys, and uncertainty are crucial elements of attraction. If she experiences like though you're always available and prepared, without difficulties and without anything else occurrence in your life where she loses interest, consider when you refused a woman. If the response is never or nearly never, then it's time for that busy man to change. Possess your own project objectives and ambitions indicate that your existence does not follow center on gaining a woman's favor. Because a man who is determined, trust me on his own development, he naturally becomes more appealing than the living one to satisfy the third factor that intelligent guys fear of losing a woman is something you should never do. When you behave fearfully, whether it's anxiety about saying something she won't approve of, fear of establishing limits, or fear of you grow weak when you lose her attention, fear is the worst thing a man can do, in her opinion. Can show up in a partnership or when seeking a woman, what makes from an insecure man to a confident one. A self-assured man understands that if a woman leaves him for a better life, will arrive. He doesn't appear desperate, not make an effort to manage the issue, not begging her to remain. He just keeps on living his life with the knowledge that it is meant to be will remain, and what doesn't will depart. Keep in mind that women can tell when they notice that they're acting scared, and the attraction vanishes when they do. A wise man is aware that the most effective method to maintaining a woman's interest shouldn't be fearful of losing her does not imply appearing aloof or uncaring, but instead considering your life to be a moving target, moving forward on the fourth, with or without her. You should not make the error of disclosing your emotional issues too fast, which could seem contentious, but pay close attention. You don't have to be a robot because of this. Devoid of feelings, yet with a right. The manner and timing of displaying vulnerability in the initial phases of dating or connections that drain your feelings. A woman's baggage might make you appear. Women that are unstable in nature wish to be with powerful males who are capable of managing their difficulties without always looking for confirmation or comfort. This doesn't imply that you ought to repress your feelings lifetime, but you should exercise caution of when and how you convey them. A man with mental equilibrium knows how to handle with his personal hardships without his fears of being transferred onto another individual. And lastly, the fifth item. With a woman, a sensible man never does. Tolerating disrespect can take many forms, creates little sarcastic tests and gags that go beyond the bounds of reciprocal in the event that a woman lacks respect. You don't try to alter from the beginning, that you're not here to instruct others to treat you with the greatest error, that many men tend to tolerate terrible behavior in the hopes that eventually the woman will begin appreciating them more. But that never occurs when you allow someone to mistreat you, upon instructing them that it's appropriate. And believe me, a lady exclusively admires a man who values himself first. If you feel uneasy about something, say that without denying it or defending it. Obviously, this isn't effective for me when you demonstrate that you have morals, and when you value yourself, you naturally become a more respectable and handsome man, because nobody really cares about what is too simple. If you genuinely wish to be an intelligent, well-respected, and attractive man, You must closely monitor the upcoming actions that you should never do with the sixth way a wise lady behaves. A man never commits when he is attempting to persuade. A woman like him is a big deal. Error, and it occurs more frequently than if a woman doesn't show up. You suppose sincere concern for your insistence on trying to establish your value or to show you'd be a fantastic boyfriend, wouldn't you? Logic is not the foundation of work appeal. It is motivated by instinct and aims to use logical reasons to persuade her that you are the world's greatest man, that you would be the ideal spouse, or the fact that you are worthy of a chance only makes you appear needy and desperate. High-value men recognize that desire needs to be organic, not compelled. If a woman genuinely desires to be, you won't have to persuade her to join you. A wise guy realizes that the remedy is to move on. He won't always prevail. Instead of squandering time and effort attempting to alter, he invests in himself, someone's thoughts, and draws women who are really attracted to. Want him to do the seventh thing: you should avoid compromise at all costs. Your morals in order to win over a woman. This occurs if a man modifies his personal convictions or choices made solely to win her acceptance. Perhaps you've observed a man who detested a particular genre of music, but all of a sudden he begins to listen to just because he adores a woman who is in love worse. A man who puts up with rude conduct merely to stay away from. It's risky to lose her attention, since it demonstrates a lack of identity. Women admire men with strong morals, who are aware of their desires, and those who are not. Adapt to the wind in order to please. Someone who is somewhat adjusting to your partner is typical, but totally altering your identity, because you're afraid of refusal is weak. If she genuinely likes you, will be for your true self, not for your act as though you're the eighth action that ruins a woman's perception of a man is acting too reactively and emotionally. This implies losing command over minor things, are easily agitated. Reacting or complaining excessively rashly to every small scenario in which a man loses his. When a lady waits too long to answer a text message, or someone who feels rejected and causes commotion merely because that night she had no desire to go out. This is blatantly emotional and insecure. Instability and women's rapid loss. Attraction to males who are emotionally disturbed. In actuality, there are ups and downs in life, for women are naturally attracted to men who can maintain composure in the face of difficulties, demonstrating maturity and strength. If you have emotional difficulties, control. The best course of action is invest on emotional intelligence and self-control. Intelligence. Become proficient in your feelings before they control you. The eighth thing a true man never does: commits to relying on a woman for support. This is a catastrophic mistake for happiness. A lot of men start dating and they immediately desert their buddies, interests and aspirations, investing every spent a second of their lives concentrating on their spouse. They turn her into the sole provider of contentment and meaning in their lives. But this is reliance, not love. Dependency destroys allure because it eliminates respect, mystery and thrill. Women are drawn to men by nature who set a goal and lead engaging lives. If you put your whole existence in a woman, will sense that in her hands. Pressure, and she will ultimately lose interest. The solution will be finished. On your life is already your own, satisfying before to any female entering it. And if you die in a relationship, keeps going since you never placed. You find yourself in an emotional dependence, followed by the 10th actions that a wise man would never take, is thinking he needs a woman in order to feel fulfilled. This is the error that results in a lot of men feel unfulfilled when they're alone, as though they are lacking something in order to be genuinely contented. Society promotes the notion that a man only succeeds if he has a woman by his side. But it isn't actually the case. If you can't, success comes from within. No lady will ever make you happy if you're happy alone. Fill the gap so you may quit believing that a connection is essential to your happiness is the foundation of your existence. Your purpose and your enthusiasm when you put your personal development first above anything else falls into place naturally. The proper ladies will enter your life not because you're frantically looking for someone to finish you, but since you're previously finished on your own, if you so choose. To be revered, coveted, and admired, man begins to eradicate these habits. Currently, and whether this information made sense, please continue viewing the videos on this channel to develop into the greatest iteration of you now understand what the 10 behavior is that an intelligent man should never do, considering you've come this far with a woman. Congratulations, as that already places you above the majority of males, but here's the actual query is, what will you do? Utilize this information, since understanding is only the initial step that actually is putting it into practice from now on. Taking note of your behavior Have you ever found yourself attempting to get a woman to like you by having you altered your personality for the sake of pleasing? Have you ever placed a purchase, woman who is the focal point of your life, and lost one's identity? If the response is yes, calm down. Most men have other people. Made a minimum of one of these errors. The issue is not making mistakes, but the issue is that they keep making without recognizing it. The good news is here. You can start changing everything, because men who are truly valuable aren't those who learn instead of failing and change. Awareness is the key. Implementing minor changes to your behavior produce significant gains in your findings. And this is a warning. When you begin implementing these adjustments, you'll observe anything intriguing. Ladies will start to perceive you in a different way. They'll feeling that other men are not like you, that you're not behaving strangely. Desperation to live your own life, acknowledge that you value yourself, and they will sense it, as there is genuine attraction. Originates from something other than words, energy and conduct going forward. Whenever remember that you are speaking to a woman. Everything we talked about here is maintained. Your value, your vitality, and your posture, if you observe that you are making an effort to connect. If you find yourself putting her in if you feel like it, reflect above. You're exhibiting an emotional reaction in a dramatic manner. Inhale deeply and take back control, because you're a clever guy. Isn't about what you claim it is, the way you conduct yourself in life, and make sure you believe that this information is solely relevant to it is applicable to romantic relationships. All facets of your life while working in relationships between businessmen who are masters of their feelings, who understands their value, who are valued and have a defined purpose. Everywhere the distinction between and how a high-value man differs from an average one. He manages connections and obstacles. So let's begin with a challenge. Start observing yourself during the course of today. Over the coming days, be mindful of your measures to determine whether you're making any of these errors without being aware of them. Don't be critical of yourself. Take it one step at a time and modify your behavior. At first, it could feel strange. However, it will eventually become second nature, as well as whether you're serious about leveling up doesn't end here. We have a ton of videos on our channel that will assist you in expanding your videos on personal emotional intelligence, growth, stoicism, and a strong sense of mentality that you must develop in order to the finest iteration of yourself. If this information struck a chord with, here's what you ought to do at this moment. To keep expanding, sign up for the channel to ensure you don't miss any new videos. Click like. If this content was useful in your opinion, please remark below which of have you witnessed guys engage in these actions, or whatever one you've identified in yourselves and are prepared to alter your. Commenting not only increases interaction, but enhances this male community as well. Devoted to evolution and ultimately divulge watching this video with a friend who must. If you hear this, you may be the one who makes him aware of these harsh realities. The path to becoming a man of high value begins right now. The decision is up to you. Will you continue to say the same thing? Errors, or are you going to act? The response to this query determines your go see the upcoming videos on the channel and carry on with your exploration of personal development. See you at the next one.